Divisive Legend tuning in from St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm kind of just transient. I'm on the light rail right now going somewhere. But here's my video for today. I did my poll and I was asked to talk about immigration. So I'm actually going to talk about something deeper than immigration today. I'm going to talk about why the Democrat Party makes it a point to support immigration as far as it does and the origin of why. The reason that Democrats support immigration despite the economic problems it causes, despite the threat of radical Islamic terrorism, the reason that the Democrat Party is so in support of these things regardless is because a man wants them to who goes by the name of George Soros. Now that's the thing I'm going to talk about today. George Soros is a billionaire globalist who funds the Democrat Party and essentially runs all of the liberal mainstream media outlets. CNN being one of them. He funds Black Lives Matter. He pays Black Lives Matter people to protest and to create riots. And he pretty much runs the entire Democrat Party. He was the one who chose the Democratic candidates. He spent more money in anti-Trump ads than anybody else. He spent money on anti-Bush ads. He wants the Democrat Party to win to promote his globalist agenda.
To these routes,
now, what I'm going to do...
and 21.
Sorry. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you the exact process of how he funnels his money to do this. First, at the top of the totem pole, you have George Soros. Below George Soros, you have 4 places that are owned by George Soros. Those are the Open Society Institute, the Democracy Alliance, Move On, and the Center for American Progress. Those then funnel money down to other places. The Democracy Institute, Move On, and Center for American Progress funnels its money to a group called Media Matters. Media Matters is who is involved in gathering all of the information that different news organizations use, primarily CNN. The purpose of Media Matters is it's owned by George Soros, so it will only promote the media he wants it to promote, which includes smearing of presidential candidates who disagree with him, promoting the presidential candidates who agree with him, and promoting the agenda that George Soros wants to promote. After you go down to Media Matters, the other place, this is funded by his Open Society Institute, which promotes for open borders. It is called the Tides Foundation. The Tides Foundation is the second rung of George Soros' operation of funding the Democrat Party.
Snelling Avenue Station.
Also, that forwards to Media Matters. That is where most of the money that goes to Media Matters is from. After you go to Media Matters, it then goes to the mainstream media.
And 84.
I'm just...
Sorry, I have a person on the train that wants to ask me a question. What's up, man?
I don't know, I'm just totally surprised to hear people talking who actually know about all the crazy shit George Soros is doing, talking about it public. So, I was just saying, like, high five.
Hey, this man here just gave me a high five. Thank you for your support, man. I need a lot of that. Okay, now, after you go to Media Matters, it then goes down to your mainstream media. Okay? The mainstream media is supporting pro-immigration, and the reason that it's doing this for George Soros is George Soros is known. If you look into George Soros, what he ends up doing, he wants countries to go into an economic crisis first. Once the nation goes into an economic crisis, once the nation goes into any kind of a crisis, he makes money because of the fact that the media is promoting it, and he's making money off of his mainstream media. And that is why the Liberal Party is the way it is they have actually been brainwashed by the liberal media, and they actually haven't paid attention to anything that's actually going on. When you go into the Somali refugee problem, that causes a massive amount of unrest within a country, which allows Soros to make money off of it. I do not believe he's looking for a new world order. I do believe, however, that the purpose of what he's doing is to deepen his own pockets by sending different nations into economic crisis and different fear-induced crisis. And the best way to actually stand up to what George Soros is doing is Americans nationwide need to boycott the mainstream liberal media, primarily CNN, MSNBC, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Times. If Americans actually stopped viewing into those, the mainstream media would have to change its attempts, and it would have to change its tactics. So yeah, divisive legend tuning out. Real news, real talk. Peace.